The night was colder than usual, and the snow fell like sharp white needle from the sky. Evan, a human supply pilot, pushed through the storm with his small hover sled. He had traveled this frozen valley many times, but tonight something felt strange, too quiet, too empty, almost dangerous. His scanner beeped suddenly, a faint life signal, then a second one. Both signals were weak, almost fading. Evan frowned. This area was known for old battlefield traps. Sometimes broken machines still sent false readings. Sometimes predators used decoys. But the signals looked real, very real. He slowed down. "Who is out here in this storm?" he whispered to himself. The wind answered with a long, lonely howl. He followed the blinking light on his scanner until he reached a small cluster of snow-covered rocks. The signals were coming from behind them. Evan stepped off the sled and walked carefully. He felt the ice cracking under his boots. The storm made it hard to see anything clearly. The cold bit into his face like tiny knives. Then he saw something. Two shapes. Small, curled up on the ground. Evan's breath caught. He brushed away the thick layer of snow and froze in shock. Two alien girls. Both young women, maybe in their late teens or early 20s, with pale glowing skin and long silver hair tangled with frost. Their clothes were torn, thin, not made for this deadly cold. Their bodies were shaking weakly, their fingers blue from freezing. One of them opened her eyes, bright violet, glowing faintly. She tried to speak. Her lips trembled. "Please, don't let them find us." Her voice broke, and she collapsed again. Evan looked around sharply. Them? Who was following them? He lifted the first sister gently, surprised by how light she was. Her skin felt cold like ice. The second one was barely breathing. He checked her pulse. It was weak but still there. He could not leave them here. Not even for a minute. He picked both of them up one by one and carried them to his sled, wrapping thermal blankets around their bodies. The storm raged harder now, snow blowing sideways like a white wall. The valley was turning into a trap. He had to move fast. As he started the sled, he felt something watching him. A presence. A shadow. He turned quickly, scanning the dark tree line. There was nothing there, only snow and darkness. But the feeling of being watched did not go away. It grew stronger, heavier, as if eyes were following every move. He pushed the sled forward, speeding toward his cabin. The storm roared all around him, but the strange fear in his chest was even louder. He kept looking over his shoulder, expecting to see something chasing him. Nothing came out, but the fear stayed. The two sisters lay on the sled, their faces pale, their bodies trembling under the blankets. One of them faintly whispered again in her sleep, "Don't let him take us." Evan shivered. Him? Who? The storm cleared slightly, and his cabin finally came into view, a small wooden shelter with a single glowing light, standing alone in the frozen wilderness. He jumped off the sled, carried the sisters inside, and shut the door fast. But before closing it, he looked outside one more time. In the distance, near the dark trees, he saw a shape. Tall, still, watching. The figure melted back into the forest as the door slammed shut. Evan locked the cabin and whispered to himself, "Who are these girls, and who is out there following us?" The storm howled again outside, but inside the cabin, two frozen alien sisters lay on his floor, safer now, and someone out there wanted them back. Inside the small wooden cabin, the heat slowly filled the room as Evan turned on every heater he had. The two alien sisters lay on soft blankets near the fire, their pale faces slowly gaining a little color. Their clothes were damp from snow, so Evan placed extra blankets over them, careful not to hurt their cold, stiff bodies. For a moment, the cabin felt peaceful, but Evan couldn't forget the tall shadow he saw outside. Something dangerous was following them, something patient. He sat beside the older-looking sister, the one with the violet glowing eyes. Her chest rose and fell very slowly. She looked fragile, almost breakable. Evan checked her forehead, still cold but warming up. Suddenly, she gasped. Her eyes opened wide, glowing bright for a second. She tried to sit up in panic, but Evan gently held her shoulder. "Easy, you're safe. You're inside. No one will hurt you." Her breathing slowed. She looked around the cabin with confusion before finally focusing on him. "Where are we?" she asked, her voice soft and tired. My cabin. I found you both freezing in the snow. She blinked slowly, trying to process everything. My name is Lyra, she whispered. The other sister, still sleeping, mumbled something weakly. Lyra looked at her with fear. Myra, my little sister, is she alive? Barely, Evan said honestly. But I'm helping her. The warmth will bring her back. Lyra's eyes softened. Thank you, human. Her words felt heavy with emotion, as if she wasn't used to kindness. Evan poured warm water into a cup and held it to her lips. She drank slowly, her hands shaking. After a moment, she managed to speak again. We escaped, she whispered. We ran for days. They will come. They always come. Evan leaned closer. Who's coming? Lyra looked toward the window, fear filling her eyes. The hunters. They track us. They don't stop. They don't forgive. Before Evan could ask more, he heard a soft groan. Myra, the younger sister, opened her eyes. Her eyes were a bright silver, glowing gently like moonlight. She looked scared at first, until she saw Evan. She quickly grabbed his sleeve with weak, trembling fingers. You came back? You didn't leave me, she whispered. Evan smiled kindly. I won't leave. You're safe now. Myra's eyes filled with tears, warm tears, unlike the freezing world outside. She pressed her face into his arm, as if needing to make sure he was real. Lyra watched silently, her expression soft but worried. Myra, slow down. He doesn't know. Evan raised an eyebrow. Know what? Before Lyra could answer, a sudden noise echoed outside. Thump! A heavy step in the snow. The room froze. Myra grabbed Evan's arm tightly. Lyra's eyes flashed bright again, scanning the door like she could feel the vibrations in the ground. Another thump sounded, closer this time. Evan quietly turned off the extra lantern and pulled the curtain aside just a little. The storm made it hard to see, but he could see movement. Something large. Something searching. Is it the hunters? Evan whispered. Lyra nodded slowly, fear returning in her voice. Yes, one of them. He followed our trail. He is close. Evan felt his heart pound. Then we need to stay quiet. Myra pressed her face into Evan's shoulder, shaking with fear. Don't let him take us, please. Evan placed a hand on her back. No one's taking you. Not while I'm here. The heavy footsteps circled the cabin once, then stopped right outside the door. Silence. The kind of silence that made every heartbeat sound like thunder. Lyra whispered, He knows we're inside. Evan whispered back, Let him come. Outside, something sharp scratched the wooden door slowly, almost thoughtfully. Then the shadow moved again. The hunter had found them. The scratching at the door grew deeper, louder, almost like claws dragging slowly across wood. Evan, Lyra, and Myra stayed completely still. Even the fire seemed to quiet down, its flame shrinking as if afraid of the sound outside. Evan whispered, Move away from the door. Slowly. Lyra helped Myra sit behind the table, close to the wall. Myra's silver eyes were wide with fear, her breathing fast and shaky. Another scratch, then a heavy thud. The hunter was testing the door. Evan picked up his pulse pistol from the shelf. It wasn't very powerful, but it was better than nothing. Lyra noticed it and whispered, Careful. Their armor is strong. They are trained killers. Evan nodded, already knowing this fight would be hard. Suddenly, boom! The whole cabin shook as something massive slammed into the door. Dust fell from the ceiling. Myra covered her ears, trying not to scream. Evan, she whispered, he found us. Please, don't let him take Lyra. Don't let him take me. Evan placed a steadying hand on her head. I won't. The second slam was even harder. The door cracked. Lyra's eyes glowed bright violet. She pressed her palm against the ground. He is alone, but strong, very strong. Evan backed away from the door, aiming the pistol. When he enters, stay low and stay behind me. The third slam broke the door open. The wooden planks flew inward like broken bones, and a blast of icy wind rushed into the cabin. The hunter stepped inside. He was huge, taller than Evan by 2 heads. His armor was thick and dark, glowing with red lines across the chest. His helmet had 2 sharp horns on top, and his breath came out like smoke. The hunter's glowing red eyes moved across the room, then locked onto the sisters. Myra forced a whisper, "No." The hunter pointed at them with a long clawed gauntlet. "In the name of the clan," his voice boomed, deep and cold, "the runaway heirs are mine." Evan stepped in front of the sisters. "Not happening." The hunter paused, surprised. "Human, you stand between me and my claim." Evan tightened his grip on the pistol. "They are under my protection." The hunter laughed, a terrible, metallic laugh. "You protect what is not yours? Then you die." He charged. Evan fired 3 quick shots. The pulses hit the hunter's chest, but the armor absorbed most of the damage. Still, the hunter staggered slightly. Lyra acted fast. She pressed her hand on the wooden floor, and a wave of vibration shot toward the hunter. The ground shook under him, making him lose balance for a second. Myra, though weak, raised her hands and created a small flash of frostlight, blinding the hunter for a moment. Evan took the chance and rolled behind him, grabbing a heated metal rod from the fire. With a strong swing, he hit the hunter's arm at the neck joint. A loud hiss filled the room, the weak spot. The hunter roared in pain. He toned, smashing the table in half with a single strike. Splinters flew everywhere. Evan barely dodged the next blow, feeling the wind cut past his cheek. The hunter growled, "You will not win, human." But Evan stood firm. "Try me." Together, the 3 of them attacked. Lyra sent shockwaves through the floor. Myra created blinding flashes. Evan struck at weak points with heated tools. The hunter roared again, stumbling backward. Finally, after a last strong hit to the neck joint, the hunter crashed into the snow outside, retreating into the storm. But as he fled, he shouted, "You cannot hide. The clan knows. More are coming." The sisters trembled in fear. Evan shut the broken door and turned to them. "We don't have much time," he said. "They'll be back with more." Lyra nodded, her eyes serious. "Yes, the hunters will return." Myra grabbed Evan's sleeve tightly. "And we will stand with you." The storm outside howled like a warning. This was only the beginning. The broken door was blocked with furniture now, chairs, a heavy toolbox, and a large wooden board Evan found behind the cabin. Cold air still slipped through the cracks, but it was better than leaving the doorway open for another attack. Inside, the cabin felt strangely warm despite the storm outside, maybe because the 3 of them were finally breathing again. Lyra sat near the fire, her hands spread close to the heat, her violet eyes glowing softly. Myra sat wrapped in a blanket, leaning against Evan's arm like a frightened kitten refusing to move away from the only safe place she knew. Evan made warm tea for both of them. "Drink slow," he said. "Your bodies need heat." Myra nodded, sipping the tea carefully, her hands shaking. She kept looking at the blocked doors as if expecting it to explode open again. Lyra, however, watched Evan. Quietly, thoughtfully. "You fought a hunter," she said. "You stood between us and him. No human has ever done that." Evan shrugged. "Didn't have much choice. He was about to kill you." Lyra lowered her eyes. "Still, thank you." There was something in her voice, gratitude mixed with deep sadness. After a few moments of silence, Evan sat down beside them. "Tell me the truth," he said softly. "Why are they after you? What does the clan want?" Lyra hesitated. Myra held her blanket tighter, hiding half her face. Finally, Lyra spoke. "Our clan is powerful," she began. "Very powerful. But power creates chains." Evan listened carefully. "Our people believe in bloodline alliances. Strong families join through arranged marriage to protect territory. Myra and I are heirs." Her voice dropped. "And we were selected to marry men we never met. Men twice our age. Men who want our powers, not us." Myra shivered. "We didn't want to go. We told them no. But they don't accept—" "No, Dot?" Lyra nodded. "When we ran away, the clan declared us fugitives. They sent the hunters after us. Hunters never stop. They never lose a trail." Evan exhaled slowly. "So you'd rather freeze to death in the snow than go back?" Lyra looked directly into his eyes. Yes, I would rather die free than live as someone's prize. Myra touched Evan's sleeve gently. When you found us, I thought we were dreaming. I thought no one would help us. Evan placed a hand on her shoulder, calming her. You're safe now. Myra's eyes softened. I feel safe with you. Lyra looked away, but her expression changed. Jealousy? Or something deeper? Evan stood up and checked his small security screen. The storm outside was thick, but shapes could still move through it. We can't stay here for long, he said. The hunter we fought wasn't the last. Lyra nodded. More will come. A full hunting party. Then we prepare, Evan said. He took out tools, wires, small explosives, and trap devices. Myra watched him work, amazed. You humans build so many strange things. Lyra helped too, using her vibration sense to detect weak points in the walls and floor. If someone approaches, I will feel it from far away, she said. Hours passed. The storm slowly calmed. The sisters grew warmer, stronger. For a little while, they even relaxed. Myra tried repairing his broken drone with soft humming noises. See? I can fix things too, she said proudly. Evan smiled. You're good at it. Lyra cooked something using alien herbs from her pouch. The smell filled the cabin with warm, sweet air. Evan took a bite, then raised his eyebrows. This is really good. Lyra smiled for the first time. We wanted to thank you, Evan. You saved us. Before Evan could answer, Lyra suddenly stiffened. She placed her hand on the wooden floor. Her eyes widened. Something is coming. Myra's smile faded instantly. Another hunter. Lyra shook her head, fear rising in her voice. No, not one. She looked at Evan with dread. A full group. The storm had stopped, and now the real danger was arriving. The night outside had become unnaturally quiet. No wind, no storm, only a heavy silence, the kind that warned of danger before it arrived. Lyra's eyes stayed fixed on the door. 5, no, 6, maybe more, she whispered. Heavy footsteps. They are spreading out around the cabin. Myra grabbed Evan's arm tightly. They found us again. They always find us. Evan moved quickly. No panic, he said. We prepared for this. We can survive this. He handed Lyra a small stun device he built from spare parts. It's weak, but you can use it with your vibration power. Lyra nodded, determination replacing her fear. He turned to Myra and gently placed a small wrist light on her hand. Use this when I tell you. Your frostlight can blind them, remember? Myra swallowed hard. I'll try. I want to help you. You will, Evan said firmly. Outside, a loud horn roared through the valley. Then another. The hunters were signaling each other. Lyra closed her eyes and placed a hand on the wooden floor. They are surrounding us. 1 on the roof. 2 on the left side. 3 near the trees. Evan grabbed his pulse rifle, older than the pistol but stronger. Then we hit them from inside. Crack! A heavy strike hit the wall. Snow fell from the ceiling. Thud! 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 3 blows hit at once. The hunters were testing the structure, finding weak spots. Stay behind me, Evan said, but Lyra shook her head. No, we fight together. Myra nodded quickly. Yes, together. A shadow passed by the window. Another stomped on the roof. The cabin shook as the hunters climbed down the walls like armored animals. Then, boom, the wall to the right exploded inward. Splinters flew everywhere as a massive hunter stepped through the debris, red lights pulsing across his armor. Evan fired instantly. 3 pulse shots struck the hunter's chest, pushing him back but not down. The hunter roared and lunged forward. Lyra slammed her hand on the floor. A shockwave shot through the cabin, throwing the hunter off balance and slamming him into the side wall. The whole cabin shook. Myra raised her wrist and released her frostlight, a bright flash that hit the hunter in the eyes. He screamed, blinded. Evan charged forward and hit the armor joint near the waist, the same weakness they discovered before. The hunter collapsed. But before they could breathe, another hunter smashed through the window. Then another from the back door. Evan grabbed Myra and rolled behind the table as glass shattered everywhere. Lyra dodged a giant fist by inches and sent another vibration shock through the wooden beams. The second hunter stumbled. The third lunged at Evan, but Myra's frostlight hit him directly in the face. He staggered long enough for Evan to punch him with a heated metal rod he had prepared earlier. The sound of battle filled the cabin. Metal striking metal. Walls cracking. Myra shouting warnings. Lyra sending quake-like waves through the floor. Evan firing, dodging, striking. But the hunters kept coming. 3 more shadows appeared outside. "We can't stay here." Evan shouted. "They'll crush the cabin." Lyra forced another tremor to knock down 2 hunters. "Then we run. Now." Myra grabbed Evan's hand. "We follow you." Evan kicked open the back window. They had no choice. Snow rushed inside as he lifted Myra out first, then Lyra. More hunters stormed the front door. Evan jumped out last, rolling in the snow. Behind them, the whole cabin shook under the weight of the hunters. Myra gasped, her breath forming glowing mist. "Where do we go?" Evan pointed toward the dark forest. "There! The trees will hide us." Lyra grabbed his arm. "We will not let them take you, Evan." He looked at both sisters, breath heavy. "And I will not let them take you." The 3 of them ran into the night, with a dozen hunters storming the cabin behind them. The Real chase had begun. Snow rushed under their feet as Evan, Lyra, and Myra ran into the dark forest. Trees stood tall like silent guards, their branches bending under thick layers of white snow. The air was freezing, but the hunters behind them burned with rage. Heavy footsteps pounded closer. Lyra stopped for a moment, placing her hand on the ground. Her eyes glowed violet. "They are spreading out, forming a circle." "They are trying to trap us," Evan said. Myra squeezed Evan's sleeve nervously. "What do we do?" "We keep moving," he said, "and we find higher ground." They climbed up a small hill, but halfway up, the ground shook. A deep horn echoed through the forest. Lyra's face went pale. "The clan leader is here." Before Evan could speak, a tall figure stepped out from the shadows. The clan leader was massive, bigger than any hunter they had fought. His armor was decorated with sharp silver plates and glowing red symbols. A long cape of black fur dragged behind him. Several hunters stood behind him, blocking every escape path. Myra gasped. "No, not him." The leader lifted his hand, pointing directly at the sisters. "The runaway heirs," he said, his voice deep and cold. "You belong to the clan. You were promised. Your marriages secure our future." Lyra stepped in front of Myra, her voice shaking with anger. "We are not objects. We are not prizes." "You have no choice," the leader growled. Evan moved beside them. "Yes, they do." Every hunter turned toward him. The leader stared at Evan with disbelief. "A human? You dare speak in a clan matter?" Evan stood firm. "I protected them from dying in the snow. I fought your hunters. I kept them alive. That gives me a right to stand here." The leader let out a low, rumbling laugh. "You have no right. The sisters are clan property." "Not anymore," Lyra said loudly. "We choose who protects us." Myra nodded, her silver eyes full of fear but also courage. "We choose him." The leader's amusement vanished instantly. "You choose a human? Weak, soft, mortal." Evan raised his chin. "Try me." A moment of silence fell. Even the wind stopped. Lyra whispered to Evan, "If you protect us during a life threat, you can challenge a clan's claim. It is ancient law. They cannot ignore it." Myra added, "But the challenge is dangerous. You might die." Evan didn't hesitate. "Then I challenge." The hunters growled. The leader's eyes burned with anger. "So be it," he said. "Challenge or claim. You face me." Evan felt his heart pound, but he hid his fear. Lyra touched his arm gently. "You don't need to win by strength. Outsiders may use their mind." Myra grabbed his other hand. "We trust you." Evan stepped forward. The leader charged first, fast, loud, shaking the earth with every step. Evan dodged, sliding behind a fallen tree. The leader's heavy fist smashed into the trunk, splitting it in half. Evan rolled, grabbing a sharp metal shard from the broken armor of a fallen hunter. He used the shard to reflect Myra's frostlight, sending a blinding flash at the leader's eyes. The leader roared in anger. Lyra stomped the ground, sending vibrations under the snow. The ground cracked beneath the leader, making him stumble. Evan sprinted forward, leaping onto a rock. With a powerful jump, he slashed the metal shard across the leader's weak neck joint, the same spot they had discovered before. The leader fell to his knees, stunned. Evan pressed the shard against the broken armor plate. "Surrender," he said. The leader growled, then lowered his head. As the ancient law commands, the sisters choose a human. Lyra and Myra ran to Evan, both breathless with relief. Myra hugged him first, trembling. "You did it!" Lyra placed her hand on his chest gently. "You risked your life for us." Evan smiled softly. "I'm not done protecting you." Behind them, the hunters stepped back, bowing their heads. The challenge was won. But the sisters' feelings had grown even stronger. The forest grew silent after the battle. Snow fell gently again, this time soft and peaceful instead of violent. The hunters stepped back, forming a wide circle around Evan and the two alien sisters. No one chased them now. No one tried to capture them. The ancient law had spoken. The sisters had chosen their protector. Lyra helped Myra stand properly, brushing snow from her hair. Myra's silver eyes were still wet with tears, but now they shined with relief instead of fear. Lyra's violet eyes glowed softly as she watched Evan. The clan leader rose with difficulty, holding his injured side. He stared at Evan for a long moment, then bowed his head once. "The challenge is complete. The sisters belong to the one they choose," he said bitterly. "The clan will not interfere again." He motioned for the hunters to follow him. One by one, the armored figures disappeared into the snowy forest until their glowing red eyes vanished completely. The moment they were gone, Myra threw her arms around Evan. "You did it. You saved us again and again," she cried softly into his chest. Evan hugged her gently. "You're safe now, Myra. Both of you." Lyra stepped close, her voice calm but emotional. "We truly are free now, because of you." Evan looked between them. "Where will you go? Back to your world? Somewhere far? I can help you reach another station." To his surprise, both sisters shook their heads at the exact same time. Lyra spoke first. "We don't want to leave." Myra held his sleeve tightly. "We want to stay with you." Evan blinked. "Stay? With me? Why?" Lyra took a small breath, as if gathering all her courage. "Because you treated us like people. Not tools. Not property. No one in our clan ever did that." Myra nodded quickly. "You fought for us. You risked everything. You didn't even know our names, and still you helped us." Evan looked down, humbled. "Anyone would." "No," Lyra interrupted softly. "Not anyone. Only you." The forest felt warmer somehow, even though snow still covered the ground. The sisters stepped closer, standing on each side of him. Lyra placed her hand gently over his heart. "You earn my trust, and more." Myra took his hand in both of hers. "And you earn my heart." Evan's breath caught for a moment. He had never felt anything like this before, two extraordinary beings looking at him with such deep emotion. It felt unreal, but also true. He placed his arms around both of them, pulling them close. "Then stay. If that's truly what you want, stay with me." Lyra rested her forehead against his shoulder. Myra smiled softly and leaned into his chest. For the first time since he found them in the snow, they felt warm. Later that night, they returned to the ruined cabin. It was damaged badly, but still standing. Lyra used her vibration sense to check the structure. "It can be repaired," she said. Myra looked up at Evan. "We can build a new home, here, together." Evan smiled. "Yeah, we can." They gathered fallen wood, broken boards, and pieces of metal armor from the defeated hunters. They worked side by side, Lyra strengthening the walls with precise strikes, Myra creating soft frostlight to guide their hands, and Evan rebuilding the door with his tools. Slowly, the damaged cabin became something new. A shared shelter. A symbol of survival. A place that belonged to all three of them. When they finished, the sisters leaned against him, Tired but happy. Lyra whispered, "You didn't just save us, Evan." Myra finished the sentence with a smile. "You became our home." Snow fell softly around them, but inside that small repaired cabin, warmth lived again. And so did love.